assume a lot of us live in West Hollywood or adjacent. Outside of that, it's not as normal to see two guys walking down the street holding hands. And we isolate ourselves. It came from a necessity back in like the 60s and 70s to have a place that we could feel safe in.
Right.
And that's why like the gay bar and nightlife culture,
that's why we moved
spraying up.
But so you don't feel that like life has evolved more though, that it's not.
Oh, it definitely is, and that's why you see.
No, but because I'm outside of West Hollywood.
Right. And so that's
like,
what we're seeing now.
No, I'm just saying if that's what I wanted to do, whether I was in the hood or if I was in West Hollywood, I'm gonna do that.
Well, totally, but I'm just saying it's a lot more rare to find that.
Right, but I'm saying it doesn't. We don't. I guess I'm just asking you from the point of view of you're saying it isn't as accepting, but I think that the world has evolved a little more. It's not completely accepting, but if you do want to step out and do it, no, it's not like people are really just running up in your face. Yeah,
totally. And that's why, like, you see New York, for example, or San Francisco, the Castro and the Village, respectively, has started to branch out. You know, there is not one main gay mecca left in the city, in New York City anymore. You know, there's Hell's Kitchen, there's Chelsea, there's the Village. I mean, even Astoria, out in Queens.
Yeah, but those are big cities. You got to go to like a small, like go to Alabama.
Right.
But I just mean like West Hollywood is one of like the last few really isolated.
The shame about homosexuality or homophobia that everybody has is like a different level. And I think that once I noticed that I wasn't normal where I was from, I just wanted to go to where people were the same because I just didn't want to think about that. You have so many things to think about. You just want to
life
go,
in general.
You just want to go where like you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
So today I was walking to get my hair cut, and it was on Doheny and Santa Monica. And I get out of my car.
And that's what you came up with?
And it was interesting.
Right.
It was an interesting circumstance. I walked out of my car, and these two guys were walking, holding hands, and I was like, and I literally stopped, and I was like, wow. And it was still weird to me that we're.
I did that in Portland recently.
And it was technically like we're in West Hollywood, but I still was like, good for them holding hands, but it still made me stop, and I don't know why.
Is it because you want something like that, or?
I have a boyfriend, but we don't.
No, and I think yes, that is something we want to see more.
But it's like it was literally. I still stopped and was like, even if we're in West Hollywood where everybody does it all day long and it's free, it's open, we're expected to do that here. But it was still like a point where I was like, wow. Okay.
So do you have friends that don't agree with homosexuality to the point where
Not as bad as it once was, I would say. It wasn't like
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they'll still say like.
And so do you tell them that it's okay, or do you allow them to just? I mean,
At times I do. There's like time and place. Like if I'm with my boys and like we're all talking shit,
right?
Then I'm like I let it ride. I'm just like when I hear gay people saying queer, and like I even have gay friends that say fag and stuff.
Well, apparently we're trying to
like
take
that right there.
Way.
So like to me, I'm just like it's kind of like where you are, I guess. You
we
know
have
what
gay
I mean?
friends that say fag.
I. So
I mean,
I don't mind. Like to me,
I would say that I'm guilty of throwing it out
in
there
like
as
a
well.
sarcastic.
But like he said,
it's not. Yeah, that's how it is. It's not like
when they're like joking around with themselves. I would never go up to them and be like, "Oh, you shouldn't be using that." I would never scold them for that because it's all about context. He's not going out and singling out an actual gay person and calling them a faggot.
It's like the word gay. Like for example, like
queer to me. Like I was talking to my cousin, and he brought up the word queer. Like just threw it out there. I'm like, you guys say that like. It's not a bad thing no more because like where I'm from, somebody was like
in the gay community we're actually trying to use that more
using it like as a description like
because
gay
it's gender non-conforming.
The place of bad, like I had to teach like my family that like you can't say oh that's gay. Like at some point when I was 21 on the way to Vegas, I was like stop saying gay. Like I like snapped for a second and we got into like a little moment and I was like stop saying it. It's not cool. It's not the same. And I understand now. And they wouldn't say it now, so it's just kind of an evolution.
Well, he yelled at them.
I was like, come on, like that's making me feel bad. I don't know why, but now I do.
How's your family? Are they accepting of your being gay? They don't mind it, or is it like a problem?
Actually, I think we're supposed to. So coming out stories. I think we'll start with you, but we should all kind of go through that.
Coming out, like I never gave like my family a choice. Like I just kind of did my own thing, so there wasn't really a chance for them. But that's just my own way. Like I met the person that I was with for 3 years when I had a girlfriend, and then I met him, and so we were dating. So there wasn't really time.
So you were dating your girlfriend and then dating him at the same time?
So like a secret boyfriend.
There was like a small overlap, but it was only 2 weeks. Yeah, it was. I don't know what's happening.
Damn, you didn't even let the wounds heal. You just went right in.
I got stolen up.
I once actually left one of my boyfriends for his ex-boyfriend. So.
explain? How did that work? What was the end result?
So the guy I was seeing was being harassed by his ex-boyfriend. So then like on AIM, I get on there and start yelling at this kid who goes to a different school district, like, get off his back, like you should leave him alone, blah, blah, blah. And then we just start talking.
So this was in high school.
Yeah. And so I came out really young. I came out when I was 14. And actually I come from the gayest family ever. My younger brother's trans, my older sister's bisexual. I'm gay, and I have a straight brother and a straight sister.
How's your family?
So
Did they accept it, or?
yeah, they were actually really, really great, and I considered myself really blessed and really lucky for that.
Where is your family from originally? Are they from
They're all military based. We moved around a lot, but primarily we lived in San Diego County, and then New York. So all of my formative years, junior high through high school.
Yeah, it's a little different for me. It wasn't a fun trip, but I think around the time that I actually just decided to say it out of my own mouth, my family was kind of like, okay, like no surprise, right?
accepted it.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that moment where you first like verbalized it to someone else? Because that has always stuck in my mind.
It's like a first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was this random girl at my high school who asked me point blank about it. I finally was just so tired of denying it that I just said yes.
Yeah. So
For
she
some
asked
reason,
you,
that
or
like
you
actual
told her?
act of verbalizing
Was it
it.
like a numb moment? Like
Yeah, kind of. And like she was totally chill about it too. So she just kind of blew it up. She's like,
Supportive.
okay, cool. And walked away. And, and like everything just like lifted off of me.
And
So-
yourself?
So my dad was a pastor, and it was in Indiana. So yeah, I came out to them after, I think it was a junior. I was 16, I think.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was horrible. I had to leave for 3 weeks, and they
What
said,
did they bring you to, like some sort of like religious camp or something?
Wait, did they try to
No.
fix you?
well, they tried. They were like, this is just a phase. It's the devil in you. They're like, we have to pray over you.
I have family like that too, so
Yeah,
I mean,
so
sometimes I feel like I have a devil.
we all have the devil in us at times.
yeah, so I stayed at my friend's house for 3 weeks. Good news is my real mom lived in Indianapolis, like 2 hours away.
Wait, so you came out originally to your stepmom?
My
and
dad and my stepmom, yeah.
Okay.
So she was totally accepting, so that was really helpful for me. But it was definitely hard. After I moved out when I was 18, they regretted it, so.
Do you have like any of your family members accepted before? Like, you have any cousins or aunts or uncles that accepted it when you first came out, or was it all like all
Well, I
against you?
actually wasn't very close to my outer family. It was mainly, because we all lived like, kind of like far away.
Do you think that this
So-
plays into why you don't want to be in a relationship with someone?
Maybe. Interesting.
Last one.
My coming out story was really interesting. Like, it wasn't interesting, but it was easy.
Accidental?
It was kind of accidental, but it wasn't my parents walking in, me having sex with a guy. It was
Mine was actually porn.
my
was my
cousin
girlfriend.
I found porn.
decided to tell
In
my
front of me,
uncle, who told my dad, and it was a simple.
I know you weren't like attracted. You guys aren't attracted to women at all. Like, do you find women? Like,
Well, I feel
No,
like
I think that's not true. I see girls all the time. I'm like, you're so hot. I would have
Yes.
sex with you. But
but that's the thing. I completely disagree.
Yes,
so that's why
I think that women are attractive. But
Yeah,
like, you didn't finish your
I
coming
don't
out
find
story.
Yeah, no, I didn't finish my coming out story. It was going back to it. It was my cousin. My dad was in the hospital. My cousin told my uncle, who told my dad, and then my brother freaked out.
On
And
telephone.
it was basically a text. Mom and dad know.
damn.
And there was never
Right.
my parents never ever said like, oh, you're gay. Like, let's have let's talk about it. Like, they were like, oh, okay, great. We love you. I
What's
got
your family's heritage?
Black and Chinese.
Okay.
I randomly got a email from my mom being like, we love you. My dad called one day and was like, oh, I love you no matter what. And I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? They randomly met boyfriends, but there was never like a transition of like, oh, I'm gay. And
Were you
now...
shooting bricks when that happened? Like, were you like, what are you talking about? Are you
No,
kidding?
I intentionally did it. I'm a little older. I posted on Facebook, or no, MySpace, sorry, saying,
Oh,
gay.
Right.
Back in the day, I said gay on MySpace, and my cousin was a follower on MySpace, and so she told my parents. But even before that, my mom would always have these weird conversations of, oh, I have a neighbor who's
Yeah,
gay.
my mom would like bring little breadcrumbs.
and I remember that
to all the kids.
Yeah.
Because I.
She's like, our neighbor's gay, and his parents were really mean to him, but I thought that was wrong. I'm like, why are you telling me this?
Dropping little hints.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, great,
So
great for him.
interesting.
Yeah, no, there was never a weird gayness coming out with them. Like, there was not like a, oh my god, dramatic, you're going to this thing and all this
Yeah.
stuff.